future of the Negro in this country is precisely as bright or as dark as the future of the country.
This is why Frederick Douglass could say that emancipation for the Negro was freedom to hunger, freedom to the winds and rains of heaven, freedom without roofs to cover their heads.
And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. It is the only thing that will bring an end to it.
My voice, your voice, our voices amplified. Welcome one and all to the Minority Report Radio, aka TMR Radio, the place where we talk about all things that affect the black community from apathy to zeal.
And this is Facts Over Feelings, the show all about creating dialogue around specific topics in the black community, expressing our opinions, experiences, with a few facts thrown in for good measure. I'm your host, Kam.
And I'm Alex, and we'll be right back with today's topics after this. Okay, so last week we talked about we talked to the men, and we talked about responsibility and what that looks like for a man as a man, right? And while I would love to expound further on that, I want to get more into the core of the discussion, the central focus of where we should be, which, ironically enough, is it fits with the title, shifting focus. so, when we look at the dating landscape or just society in general, the general sense is the social expectations in relationship from men are what? To basically provide, protect, you know what I'm saying, all this shit for women, right? Like everything we do essentially is so that we can please our women. Would you
Correct.
agree to that?
I would agree. Traditional man, traditional gender role for men, yes.
Yeah. So, you know, and this way of thinking has always been instilled in us from boys. We are always supposed to treat women as these delicate flowers, these porcelain dolls, these angelic beings. They can do no wrong, and you know, they're just so precious and perfect and stuff like that. Let me dispel that whole mindset. Put this in your brain housing group. You ready for it? Okay. Women shit. Okay. I need y'all to understand that women shit just like you do. Is just as nasty, just as funky as the stuff that you put in your toilet. Because see, the way we
but the real question is it as impressive?
You know what? I have never analyzed my shit enough to even compare. Because who the hell looks at this? I don't know.
Yo, I've had some impressive ones. You know, you look back, you're like,
I don't even know what an impressive shit would look like, nigga. Like, it's coming out of me. Like, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna sit there and admire. Yeah, that came out of me. That's waste my body don't need. That's impressive. I'm not gonna do that.
Come on, man. You a vet. You know damn well. You know you heard some motherfuckers say, you know what? I took a good shit last night.
I have heard it. I'm saying me personally, I have never done this. Like, I would just sit. It was like, yeah, I sat on the toilet long enough for my legs to fall asleep, but I never analyzed what came out as a result. Never done that.
Oh man.
What I'm saying though, like, and that's the issue, right? So Kam has known me practically the majority of my whole life. He's probably my oldest and dearest friend, right? And you know, when we do that, he had told me time and time again when we were kids that what I was doing was I was putting women on a pedestal. And you know, because Kam has been red pill before red pill was red pill. Like this man has always been in that mindset. But for me, I was indoctrinated to this stuff early, and it has taken me years. I didn't break out of this mindset till what, last year before, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I'd say 2020.
Yeah, so I didn't break out of that mindset until recently, and so I didn't understand it when he told me way back when that I was putting women on a pedestal. But when you think about it, it's just this way of indoctrinating us has made us to these, you know, we started worshiping. And in a way, the way I'm thinking of it, and you can chime in if you want, but in a way, it's a matter of dehumanizing women when we treat them that way. When you put them above the concept of human, you ignore everything else that comes with being human.
Ooh.
And so, in doing so, you shift the power dynamics between the two.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying?
No, so I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, man, because it's like you like okay. So prime example, a lot of dudes are socially awkward, right? I don't necessarily think. I mean, I think it partially plays into it that, you know, they were raised by single parent households, and you know, most of them are shut-ins or whatever have you, right? But I think it's primarily because of this indoctrination, they have such a hard time talking to women. That's why they fumble their words, because they don't look at the women that they're interested in as something attainable.
Well, okay, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? You are so far out of my league. You are gorgeous. You are. You know what I'm saying? So when I open up my mouth to talk to you, it's like, the hell was that? Dude, okay. I'll put myself out there. There was a time when I was trying to gear up to talk to girls. You've never seen this. I don't think I've ever even told you this. There were times I was trying to gear up, talk to girls, and sometimes I would get so tongue-tied, my guy, like unconsciously, I would just drool. It would just come out.
Oh, damn.
Embarrassing as all hell because I didn't know what to say. My brain would literally shut off, and I would be brain dead for a couple seconds, complete withdrawal.
Yo,
I shit you not.
Yo, real talk. That's wow.
So it's so when you relinquish that when you view women in that aspect, of course it's gonna be hard to talk to them. But the reverse of that, the other side of that also is that, you know, being heralded as these angelic beings, that now gives them the opportunity to look down on you, you poor sap of a mortal.
Oh, damn.
You know what I'm saying? And
I mean that's gospel, bro. I mean, you ain't the only one. You ain't the only one that's been through that, bro. I know other motherfuckers that are awkward as shit, bro. You know, talking to women, dude, like, cause they kind of, yeah, you're right, almost deify them. It's weird. And then also, I think it's a turnoff for women to even be put in that position just off bat, right? Like, that makes it weird for them. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause they don't see themselves as that, at least.
Yeah, you know,
normal women. You know what I'm saying? And then to see you making that much of a big deal, it's like, ugh.
Which brings me to another point. They don't want that.
They don't.
Screw the crap about, you know, women wanted the nice guy to be catered to be taken care of, and all this other stuff. They don't want that.
But this is where the misconception is, guys, and this is where everybody says it's called being the asshole, and I get called an asshole by the majority of my female friends. And it's not that they think I'm an asshole and they don't think I'm their friend. It's just that I'm honest and frank. You know what I mean? And I think what it is, a lot of the times, and I've talked to women about this, is that the world lies to women constantly. They know it's lies a lot of the goddamn time. They know men lie a lot of the goddamn time. Yep. But it's refreshing to run into somebody who can see the human in them and show them their flaws, right? And this is where you got, I don't know, dudes saying that women like jerks. I don't think it's necessarily jerks per se. I think it's equal treatment. A hot chick, right, that you're talking to, if you treat her like just a normal, regular James Smith, bro, it's going to blow her muffin because she's so used to being pedestalized. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get that.
And I've heard, who was it? Was it Childish Gambino? I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about supermodels. And, like, just being around supermodels is so funny. Like, they get treated so differently out in the world. They like people who treat them regular. It's almost like being handicapped in a way. No diss to the handicap. You know how handicapped people are like, hey, don't treat me any differently. Look at me.
Especially in comedy clubs.
Treat me like anybody else, man. Treat me like anybody else. And a lot of handicapped people feel that way. How do you think hot-ass women feel? Treat me like everybody else, bro. I'm so tired of being worshipped. So it's not necessarily being a jerk. You don't have to be a rude asshole. But being honest with them and talking to them like they're human, it is what it is.
It goes a long way. I ever tell you about the time I met Tisha Campbell?
Oh, that crazy, bro. Yeah, Tisha, love you, sis.
Hey, Tisha, cool peoples. Okay,
I don't know what the hell. I'm playing.
Tisha is cool peoples.
Listen
okay,
here.
I would have been that woman.
Listen, if I ever met Gina in person, okay, I would flip my wig. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that was the thing, Nick. That was the thing. When I met her in person, it was at her club, right? She had just got finished performing, right? And, you know, rock the stage like she do, right? Yeah. And we was just sitting outside. She came out. She plopped down where we was at. It's like, y'all excuse me, my dogs are barking. And we sat there and had a legit fucking conversation. We didn't wig out. Nobody got starstruck. We talked to her as a human being, right? And she reciprocated that back.
Yo, I bet
it was a decent
I bet you she probably remembers that night.
Huh?
I wonder if she remembers that. I bet you she does.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind it, but that was a win for Alex. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, like,
that keep close to my chest.
I'm just saying,
you know?
just like have a regular conversation like a regular person. You know, not get treated like a star or a celebrity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of people that are in that spotlight, man, if you don't wig out around them, man, they appreciate that shit, man. I watched a clip earlier of a Drake fan. Like, Drake was walking down the hall, and he's like, "Yo, Drake," and he gave him a pound, and that was it. And dude kept walking, right? But Drake did a double take. He turned around. Like, that's the type of shit. Like, because like, you get used to being awed and drooled over, and it's like, it's refreshing to get treated fucking normally, bro. Like, they're just people.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's like we were saying last week, right? Nobody wants anything that they haven't earned. We're talking about women. We're talking about average, everyday women. Gorgeous by our standards, you know what I'm saying? By any standards, beautiful women. But when you dote on them and you just give everything to them when they haven't given you so much as, I don't know, some booty in return, the equivalency isn't there. You know what I'm saying? There's no equivalent exchange there. So it's like, of course, they're going to be like, okay, hold up, bruh. And I have heard this many times, and it didn't click for me until recently. You're doing too much.
You're doing too much. Yes.
You're doing too much. And you know what I'm saying? The statistics will back that, because a lot of what did your wife say? It would call it. It was like wife syndrome or something like that, when they feel like they're not doing too much or some crap like that. Mom guilt. And you know, a lot of women will experience mom guilt. And they will initiate the divorce process because they're getting all of this stuff. And this is what I think. I could be wrong, but this is what I think. They're doing all of this stuff, going to work, bringing home the bacon, doing all of this, that, and the other, making her feel sexy, making her feel pretty. She may not even give you no booty all the time, whenever you want it. But you're a part of the bargain. They fall into this mom guilt, and they initiate the divorce. Irreconcilable differences.
You think that's what it is?
I don't think it's the number one cause, but I think that plays a key factor.
It very well could.
It's like, I was thinking about it today. I think it plays a key factor, but it doesn't change the fact that 80% of divorce rates, 83% of divorce rates are initiated by women.
80 well, not divorce. Yeah, 80% of divorces are filed by women.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying, and it's because they stop listening to women when they tell you what they want. I know that sounds weird as hell. Stop listening. Look.
Yo, they did a study. They actually did a study. It's an interesting study. But what women are attracted to. And what they did is they hooked straight men, straight women, and gay men up to a device. Mm-hmm. It was almost like akin to a lie detector test, basically, right? But then they also attached electrodes to their genitals, right? So they can measure arousal, right? And they showed them images. First, they asked them, hey, what are you aroused by? And the men and the women, they said what they were aroused by. And then they showed them images of different things. Some of the things that they liked, some of the things that, was down on the sheet. And what they found is that women were actually aroused by damn near everything. Their genitals reacted, even the shit that they said that they didn't like. Which in my mind says, A, they don't know what the fuck they want. But B, it also says, I think society puts enough pressure on women that they're not allowed to say what they actually want. Because it would look, especially sexually, right? It would look down upon by society. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's an interesting study. But in that vein, though, if they feel that way and they're going to, quote, I guess, fib about it, right? Then it would behoove a rational dude not to listen to dating advice from women. Well, let me take that back. Women who are unrelated to you. I would take advice from a sister or somebody there's no sexual anything there. It's just like I tell women, if you're going to get advice from a man, it can't not be a quote unquote friend. Because a lot of quote unquote male friends are just waiting for you to say the word and they'll gladly hit it and hook up with you. So
ladies,
no,
if you're listening, that is key advice. Because if you can call any of your friends, any of your male friends in your phone book, calling me like, "Yo, I'm horny, come get some of this," and you know the answer will be yes. He's not your friend; he's your standby.
Real talk. Because a lot of when you use the word platonic literally means no romantic relation. In other words, they're not no romantic interest whatsoever, right? But if your dude friend that you call your platonic friend would smash if given the opportunity, that's not a platonic friend. He's just waiting.
Look here. If he don't look at you like a manatee,
yes,
he's not your friend.
Yes,
he's not your friend. If you are a mermaid in his eyes and not a manatee, he is not your friend. He is real talk. Waiting. He is patient. That's what that man is.
Yo, I've heard wild stories too about dudes waiting like 10, 15 years for the chick when they get promoted from the friend zone. And I'm just like, yo, that's
I have allowed myself to go into the friend zone many a times. And for me, it's just like I just realized, for me, and this is not everybody's experience, but for me, it was just one of those things like, okay, I'll have to accept this. Eventually feelings fade. And that's exactly what they do. They just fade and go away. It's like, it is what it is. She don't want me. That's fine. It's, it is what it is. I don't know. But we was talking about studies. There is a study, which is why I brought this up. There is a study that I want to reference that illustrate that there is a social castration of men that's happening right now. And the study comes from the the American Psychological Association.
APA. I just remember APA.
Yeah. And there was an article in the LA Times that showed that referenced this thing, and we'll link it in the description below. But they were saying how traditional masculinity is now deemed toxic. And this study came out in like 2018, 2019. And it was really weird how that whole thing, was written and stuff like that. One of the things that I had an issue with was, it said that, masculinity ideology is what they were trying to go for. But traditional masculinity ideology has been shown to limit male psychological development, constrain their behaviors, result in general strain and general conflict, and negatively influence mental health and physical health, right? And then it goes on to say that traditional masculinity is marked by stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, and aggression is on the whole harmful. It's sad that a lot of these traits that they're trying to rule out of men are inherent to men. So essentially saying
what I like, and this is that's so good that they mentioned those traits. So those are considered masculine traits now by the APA, right? Officially.
Right. Yeah,
is that official? Because
that's official.
When you say a woman is acting like a masculine woman, right, and you mention these traits, a lot of feminists get in their feelings and say, well, being dominant is not a masculine trait. Well, according to the APA, it is now, right?
If we're to take them by anything,
I'm just saying. It is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the thing that kind of irritates me about the whole women need to act like men movement. That's what I'm fucking gonna call it from now on.
It's so
weird. It is weird because what a man doesn't want to marry or be with a man. I don't understand. I mean, unless you're homosexual. That's just a whole nother. That's a whole other point. Like, you know what I mean? Like, straight men don't want to be with men. So, like, why would it's just ass backwards? Why would we wife that?
And despite and contrary to popular belief, men don't want the female versions of themselves. We just don't. Look, I was talking to Kam offline about this very thing. Look here, I got to deal with myself 24/7, 365. When I go to sleep, I'm there. When I wake up, I'm there. When I go to work, guess what? I'm there. When I come home, who's there? Me. I'm tired of dealing with me 24/7. I want to deal with somebody else.
No, you get a twin. You get you times 2.
That would drive me fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because no one would ever say anything. But I mean, just in and all of that. My other point, and you know, I'll leave it at this. We need to stop trying to please women. That's the crux of what I'm trying to get at. We need to stop trying to please women. That's where the shifting focus need to go. Look here, we have spent so much of our time chasing after women, doing what we need to do to try to get their attention, that we need to do a giant about face, because this whole thing has gone left. We need to do a giant about face and make it go the right way. Because if men are the leaders of our community, like we say that we're supposed to be, we need to start leading by example. That means you need to get your house, metaphorically speaking, in order. Focus on building that, building your world, and you know, stop focusing on these OnlyFans and these Instagram models and all that other stuff. Start building your world. Focus on that. And I guarantee you, when we shift focus from where it is now, trying to figure out them and their problems and what they want and all that other stuff so we can do whatever. If you focus on the other thing, guess what? They will follow. They give chase because we are constantly chasing. Stop chasing.
Agreed. And on that note, we'll be back.
Of this MLM asked, what is everyone's dream car? So everyone was so specific. I want the BMW i85, you know, I don't know, but all of those cars. So it was my turn, and I said, oh, I just want a Mercedes Benz. and she asked, what class? And I said, the sedan. And so she kind of giggled and said, okay, that's good enough. So immediately I go in my phone and I'm like, Mercedes-Benz class. And I found out that they had a class E, class C, all that stuff. It was at that moment that I realized I had really picked someone else's dream. I just chose what I heard everyone else say. I don't even think I really knew the difference between a BMW and a Mercedes-Benz, but I just said Mercedes-Benz. I don't know why I never sat in one, never drove one. Why is that my dream car? IDK. It just goes to show that a lot of the things we want and we desire are things that we actually don't want nor desire. We have been told to reach for the stars instead of just reaching for our targets. It's this thing about us always having to be exceptional, and I don't want to. I want no parts. I don't want to be exceptional. I just want to be regular. I want to live a regular life. Is that okay?
Well, that was our girl over on YouTube. Her channel's name is The Upgrade. Her name's Kiki. Kiki. Man, that video, I'm not gonna lie, resonated with my soul.
Drew me in. You hear me?
Yo, like, I'm not one to be like, yo, you just need to be, you stagnant in life.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, bro, everybody, especially millennials, man, I feel like everybody thinks that they're exceptional. And I think that comes from that, what do they call what conservatives call it? Everybody gets a trophy, the participation trophy.
Oh, God.
Bro, I dead ass think that that's the case. Like, most millennials think they gonna be the next Martin Luther King, man. Like, bro, the vast majority of us are gonna live average lives. And I asked about 2 years ago, I asked a lot of my Facebook friends, I was like, yo, when did the word average become derogatory? Like, when did it turn like, I'm gonna live an average life? Like, yo, most of you motherfuckers are not gonna be supermodels. Most of you motherfuckers are not gonna change the world. You're just gonna be normal, man. And that's okay. Yo, like, it's okay. Listen, if you want to just be a wheel in the cog, be the best damn wheel you can be, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, another part of that video that cracked me up is she was like, can't I just be? And I was like, yes, you can, sis. Yes, you can. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think, honestly, this topic of shifting focus, right? Like, why are we as black folks so materialistic? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that you'll find a person living in a shack but driving a Beamer? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we feel that we have to impress anybody? Why can't we just live, bro? No, go ahead.
Are you asking me? Are you asking my take?
No, I'm dead ass. That's like the legit. That shit ain't rhetorical. Like, I find myself asking like random people, like, why do you feel you need certain things? Like she said, like, who put it in our head that we needed, like in her case, an S class or a B, you know what I'm saying, or a Mercedes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well,
who gave her that? Well,
okay, so here's the issue that I look at it, and look here, what I'm about to say can be misconstrued. I don't want nobody to do that. First of all, I understand completely with what she said. All right, I understand, and hell, I even agree with it. Right. The problem though, listening to her, and I'm seeing this. In this aspect, and I'm just like, I'm a little jealous because I'm like, you could actually probably attain that. She could actually probably do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if her goal is to just be, she could, in the way things are set up, she could actually do that, and it'd be okay. A dude could not aspire to just be. It's just not a thing. It's not a thing that we can do, huh?
Well, okay, so I guess that depends. I guess on your definition of just be. Like, what do you mean?
Well, okay.
Why can't the dude do that?
So a dude has to, I mean, especially if you're supposed to be some kind of dude of value, not necessarily high value, but any kind of dude of value, because we agree that a man has to create his own value in this world, right?
Okay.
So like an average mofo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you and I both know that an average mofo could have a decent house, but if he's looking to have a family and all this other stuff, he has to do above average in order to take care of them, let alone to get some girl to look at it. And because pre-selection. Because pre-selection.
But see, that's my point though. That's what I mean by shifting focus, and it's primarily millennials that I want to talk to, because I think we were sold a bad bill of goods, man. Like I don't think us trying to get the bag is the answer, man. Like, so I hear so many people talk about generational wealth and have no idea how it's even generated. No clue where to even start. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not an overnight process. This is not a, oh yeah, I got rich, get rich quick scheme. That's not what generational wealth is. There's a term called new money and old money, right? Mm-hmm. And old money looks down on new money for the most part, right? And it's not necessarily because they're new money. It's how they attain the money. And they know, and old money knows that new money doesn't last long. Why? Because you give a poor person $5 million, and the average motherfucker is going to squander that money because he has no idea what to invest in, no idea what to do with that money. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Like, who gave us this idea that we have to go above and beyond at all times in everything that we do? And I think part of that came from the culture of we have to work twice as hard to get half as much.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's what that came from. I think that's
part of it.
But like you said, like a man just can't be. A dude could raise a family on $50K in 2022. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be riding around in a Range Rover. I'm not saying you're going to be living the luxurious life, but you could raise a family. But here's the thing. A lot of men and women want excess. They want to live in excess. And it's like, why? And part of that is social media as well. Like, what made you come from nothing, right? You come from a lot of our people come from poverty, right? Single mother homes are typically in poverty. We mostly come from single parent homes, right? Okay, you come from poverty. What makes you think you're gonna just start making $200,000-$300,000 a year? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what made, like, it's like the NBA stars. Well, I'm gonna make it into the NBA. How many people actually go in one generation, in one fell swoop, from living in poverty to literal rich? And that's the way these motherfuckers is talking. And it's like, yo, in what reality is that normal? It's not. Yeah, you see the success stories. They're few and far between. You're talking about, hell, I'll be generous. Let's say 100 people become successful, right, in a generation, right? All the celebrities and shit, they just come out of poverty and become successful, right? Mm-hmm. There's millions of us, guy. That's such a tiny percentage. The vast majority of people are going to live average lives. In other words, 9 to 5s, check to check. 70% of America currently lives check to check. You're just going to sprout up and be rich as shit? No. It takes time and planning. And this is my thing. Should we be chasing the bag, or should we be trying to rebuild our families first?
Well, you know what I think. I think we should be focusing on the family and rebuilding from there so that we can spiral out and do what we need to do as a community. That's my official stance on that. However, to answer your question, no, go ahead. I think I'm gonna have to take devil advocate position in this particular dialogue. When you're talking about, you mentioned, everybody expect to be the next MLK, and it's that word that is the issue, expect or expectations, right? I think the issue becomes where the shadow of greatness falls on us. You see what I'm saying? When you look at civil rights leaders, and you look at the Black Panther leaders, and some of the men and women in the Nation of Islam, the people that actually moved change, right? Hell, if you look at a lot of the abolitionists back in the slavery area, a lot of these mofos were young. And that's just Black history. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know what I'm saying, the forefathers of the country, they were relatively young. So that shadow of greatness befalls us, and that's a lot to live up to. Because as the generations continue, that shadow stretched out far, but we weren't meeting it.
But see, this is what I mean though. Like, even when you use, every great leader has support, right? And like when you look at like the civil rights movement, how did the civil rights movement get funded?
I mean, it was with the community. The Black community helped funded it.
The Black family.
We got together and we pushed the money out to everybody who needed it.
And that's my point. How are you gonna fund something and we can't even build the community? And that's my thing. I'm not saying that women need to get with broke men. I'm not saying that. But can we at least get with an average dude? The average Black man makes more than the average Black woman. Can we at least admit that statistically, right? Can we at least admit that fact? And then can't we build on that? Cool, you make $48K. Let's say he makes $48K for the rest of his life. Let's say you have to work as well. It's a dual income household, right? Mm-hmm. That's if both of you guys are making $40K, that's over $80K, right? Could you raise a family off that? Could you build with that? Because the way we're doing it now, it's just not working, man. It's just not. And that's where I mean that my idea of like shifting focus. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like this idea that we have to start at 100K before we even begin to do anything. It's flights of fancy, bro.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to play devil advocate here because the issue is is as you say, we came from nothing. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us grow up, and a lot of us grew up with nothing. I can't even expound on that as much because the gravity of that statement, if you haven't lived it, you don't know it. But growing up with nothing is a shitty fucking existence. So when you get older, you expect, especially if you bought into the BS, go to school, get good grades, get a good job. You know that mantra, right? Mm-hmm. So if you follow and you execute that plan specifically, and then the results that you were promised don't come into fruition, then yeah, you're like, okay, I've been working hard, I've been being diligent in my, the direction that I'm going in, but I'm not seeing any of the return of the investment of time and attention that I've been putting this stuff into. So,
but have you ever thought that maybe you're not supposed to see the return? Maybe your children are.
That would go into legacy thinking, and
that's my point. That's literally my point. Rebuilding the family. What comes after forming a family? What comes after that? Legacy. After that, community. You can't build a community with a bunch of single individuals, bro. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I agree with you.
And that's what I'm saying. There has to be a certain amount of sacrifice up front, right? And I'm not saying motherfuckers should be living in poverty. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is men and women need to do the work and form couples. I'm not saying you need to be forming couples with bum mugs. I'm not saying that at all. Or abusive mugs. I'm not saying it at all. But we put so much, especially our women, we put so much emphasis on income, bro. A lot of women today aren't even swiping on your ass if you ain't making over 80K. The number of Black men that make over 80K is only 15% of the population, bro. It's not feasible, bro. And this is the thing. Cool, you got that 15%. Let's say they all pair up evenly. That still leaves 85% of women fucking single. So again, it's not conducive doing it this way. You're going to have to grit your teeth and bear this. You're going to have to sacrifice. We are going to have to sacrifice for our kids, bro. We won't see the return on this, but your hard work will see the return generationally. And that's what I mean when motherfuckers talk about generational wealth. I'm like, y'all can't even get out of your own way, right, as an individual to sacrifice for your potential kids.
But, and I'm not saying this in opposition to what you just said. I'm just saying, like, in general, in conjunction with what you're saying, that would require a mofo to stop looking at a kid as an afterthought and as something that they intentionally do. I think a lot of people just make kids, as a mistake. No offense to anybody who has kids, but a lot of times, like, the kids are just a byproduct of something you just did, not something that you intentionally tried to do.
Oops babies.
Oops babies, yeah.
That's exactly it.
You know what I'm saying? And so, the repercussions and the gravitas of bringing another life into this world escapes a lot of mofos. And so, again, the thought of, damn, this person is supposed to carry the torch when I'm dead and gone never occurs because you didn't intentionally make the baby with that mindset with that thinking in hand.
And this is the thing too, like when you look at our ancestors, speaking of, right? Like when you look at our ancestors, a lot of them were hardworking as fuck, man. Like how many motherfucking big mamas was working in motherfuckers' houses, cleaning their houses and shit? You know what I'm saying? They mamas was doing that shit. Like, but they were sacrificing their bodies so that we could build something. And when we started to build something, civil rights movement, right? Mm-hmm. From the 50s to the fucking 70s, when we started to get something going, obviously we had outside interference. The U.S. government fucked us on that, right? And then they siphoned the money out of, with the black father, out of the damn home. They siphoned the money out of the community. But again, how long ago was that? When you know better, you do better. There's more information at our fingertips than ever before. We know what the fuck they did, right? But now they're not doing shit. We're literally doing it for them by not sacrificing. We have to start over, man. You're going to have to start over. And as shitty as that sounds, it is what it is. You're going to have to do something. But I don't understand why it's so hard to recognize that and do something about it. And
I think
I talk to about the whole generational wealth thing, a lot of them are single mothers. And I'm like, bro, I get that. I feel you. That's possible, but not probable.
Okay, so I think the position that I'm trying to take is to try to explain the why, right? For now, I'm just trying to explain the why, right? And again, these are just theories. This is just Alex talking, just brainstorming over here. But you also got to take into consideration how do I put this? When we're talking about building a legacy and passing on the torch or the baton, so to speak, you also got to take into consideration that a lot the baton is in our hands, millennials' hands right now, right? Mm-hmm. And the history that baton represents is a lot of trauma, my guy. Like you mentioned, what was it? Shit. You mentioned old money and new money and passing on that wealth, generational wealth and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. What have you inherited from the previous generations? Do you even do any of your previous generations, let's say 2 generations back, do they have anything to pass on when they leave? Because they're on their way out. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about what have I inherited from my parents?
Like, do you not your parents, but your parents' parents? Because everybody's on their way out. That generation is on their way out.
Oh, don't get it twisted.
You know what I'm saying?
Twisted. Generation. But see, this is the thing. Generation X kind of screwed the pooch on that. But again, though, I'm not even gonna blame them for that because again, the rocks or the boulders started back in the 70s, right? Of fucking over the black community. I'll give you that. But at a certain point, we gotta say, all right, they fucked us over. We gotta get this going again.
And I agree with you. My point though is that a lot of us don't have that example. So like you gotta somehow, some way, and this is part of the solution that I want to present. Somehow, some way, we have to get into the collective consciousness that this is an issue that we need to bring into focus. But it's been lost for 2 generations so far, and it ain't looking good down the line, my guy. Very few of us are talking about legacy here. You know what I'm saying?
But
so like, how do we introduce and inject?
But this is the thing that I'm noticing, especially in the red pill community, we are talking about that, right? Men are starting to talk about that. But this is the thing. When you look at a lot of women in the community, they don't want to get on board with that. And primarily it's for very vain reasons. Oh, he makes less money than me, so I can't date him. The fuck does it matter at the end of the day, bro?
Well, I mean, that also can also go into the whole thing about, you know, her not respecting him as a man. If she makes more money than him, she's not going to respect him as a man.
And that's my point. Men have more qualities than their fucking wallets, man. And the fact that a lot of women are willing to forego those qualities because he is inefficient as a breadwinner and just raise the kids by themselves is why we're in the state we're in now. That's horseshit. You know what I mean? Women that I've heard, oh, I'll just have the kid. I'll just go to a sperm bank. I'll just have the kid. I'll have sex. I'll birth the kid. I don't need the man. Are you fucking kidding me? Fathers are important, bro. It is what it is. And that's what I mean by we got to shift our focus. We have to get off this materialistic bullshit.
And I think
we have it.
I think that just going back to a previous point that I was making, when we talk about passing, you know, the baton and stuff like that, like I think that the lessons that have been passed down because we didn't learn, you know, the concept of legacy. Like I didn't think about legacy until I started looking at, you know, lineages and shogunates and all of that other stuff in feudal Japan, and how, you know, kings were passed down from generation to generation, and, you know, the crests and all of the other stuff. Like I thought that shit was cool, and that's how I got into the whole legacy thing. I'm like, damn, I ain't really got nothing to inherit, but I definitely want to pass something down. So I have to start it myself. But you know what I'm saying? I had to go and research that shit to get into that mindset. And I think what's been passed down to us is a history of pain instead of history of passing on. You see what I'm saying? So we've settled not for passing on monetary, you know, leg ups, so to speak, right, for the next generation, but we've settled for the illusion of having money because we didn't inherit it from the previous.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Yes, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, and I'm not saying we can save everybody, but what I'm saying is for those people who are conscious enough to at least hear. Dude, this is the thing. A lot of people are hearing this message and completely ignoring it. And again, trauma and all that, that's cool. But again, I'm starting to get real tired of that excuse, man.
Yeah, well, no, I get you.
It kind of sounds, we interject that, and I'm starting to get tired of it. And I'm not saying trauma isn't real, but we're starting to inject that in the same freaking way as the previous generations injected the white man. And it's starting to really piss me off.
Oh,
starting to really piss me off because
that's a good point.
Accountability.
That's a good point.
Self-accountability is a fucking thing, bro, and you have to hold yourself accountable. Your children are gonna hold you accountable when they get older and they realize they ain't got shit. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The reckoning needs to happen in black families, and we need to start rebuilding. And there needs to be some form of sacrifice. I think I heard, and people might get pissed and triggered about this, man, but I think I heard Dr. Umar say something like this. If you all are working in a dual family household, right, and the man is making enough to get by, in other words, $50K a year, he's paying the bills, you guys live in a modest, you know, apartment or home, and you as a woman have to work, okay, don't think of it as you supporting a man, quote unquote. How about this? You take all that fucking money that you're earning and put it as a nest egg for your kids, man. Start investing in things. Crypto, stocks, bonds, gold, silver. Can we at least try to build something that will last longer than you?
Yeah, no, I agree with that sentiment in general. I really do. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Before we break. I'll tell you something else. Bruce Lee had a quote that resonated. He has a lot of quotes that resonate with me. In fact, I would attribute him to being one of my first teachers. But he said, a goal may not be the thing that you're supposed to attain. And we're talking about the people who are, you know, I'm applying this to the people who think that they're supposed to be like, oh, I need to get this, that, and the third, you know, in response to our homegirl earlier. What's her name again? I forgot just that quick. What was her name? Kiki. Kiki. Well, Kiki was saying a goal may not be a thing that you're supposed to obtain, but rather serve but rather serve as a direction in which you are meant to go. Does that make sense? So like you may be trying to reach for the stars, but land on the moon. That's good enough, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
I feel that. That's where she was going. Yeah, I feel that.
It's like you ain't gotta be like, I don't know, dude. Like it's just as far as shifting focus, like taper your expectations. Taper your expectations and focus on what really matters. And I think that's what Kam was getting at. Focus on what really matters, you know?
Agreed.
We'll be back.
Out of touch with my feelings, dress and appearances. Feeling more solid about who the man in the mirror is. I reach for hearts through the speaker box to connect with strangers. Painting the page with the language, but off the mic I barely speak it all. I seldom see a flaw, bitch, I need it all. Shook by the way life is lately. I feel the earth pirouette, I'm dazed like I'm seeing stars. Got them all on the wave, it's more than just words to a page. Just feel like I'm hosting a read-along, and I speak in tongues. No translation, I'm out the bottle, I'm grieving, leaving the beat needed CPR. I'm disconnected, I feel the pressure, I need acceptance. I'm from the crevice, where all my homies on something special. They subtle flexing, but still they hella selfless. Chasing a bag, but it's good, they don't need the Franklins to keep it 100. I'm seeing shit down the barrel, I named that gun right America. Armed with the inkjet, I'm flaring up in my element. We losing brothers to bullshit, we need protection, cause real niggas is rare enough. I rewrite the narrative, I conquer that feat alone. Got the needle jumping like bungee, I'm in the field like I'm hunting. The work is dope off the burner, I'm calculated, I'm talking numbers, pray for longevity. Sent to somebody's deity, wrote this down as my therapy. Yeah, I'm deep in tune with my energy. I slide with phone, she get higher than a back, then I'm liable to hurt you. I just fall to the background, I just wanna way out of it. Yeah, things been sort of shaky. Time been moving real fast. I just wanna make it. I just wanna make it. Talk is dense, I'm trying to make sense of it. My stomach turning between its lit and the dissonance. I know some people that's feeling sick just existing here. Brain blister, been caught up deep in the thick of it. I lane switch through the fog, it's hard to see where I'm headed. But fuck it, ain't no turning back, the past is where we been. It feel like something missing, and I've been out here on an impossible mission. My head down to myself, and I smile to stay in the moment while trying to stay up my feelings. Trying to boost my subscribers, I'm trying to maintain the vision. People that know me closest live different than what they show me. It's hard to feel like they know me when I'm just scrolling through images. Truth be told, I feel pain, but I'm on the pinnacle. Been chasing this music thing for a minute though. Know some good people that never see success, and here I am sitting worried about show appearances. With everything crazy, you still my source of peace. You filter out the lows, you give me what I need. We'll give you the world, but it don't belong to me. It's feeling like it's love, if not, it's the closest I'll be. I slide that I want you, get higher than I'm back, then I'm liable to hurt you. I just fall to the background, I just wanna way out of it. Yeah, things been sort of shaky, the time been moving real fast. I just wanna lay here, I just wanna lay here.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We appreciate you taking time to chill with your boys. We believe that every encounter is a chance to learn something. So, what's the takeaway today? Leaders aren't born in a vacuum. It takes a community of like-minded individuals to raise them. Where does this community come from, and how is it formed? From men and women coming together for a cause bigger than themselves. Somewhere along the way, many of us forgot this. But it doesn't mean we can't do it again. To better summarize what we mean,
young black men, take your place. We need you. Your sons and daughters need you. Did you understand what I just said? You were sold off and had no choice, yes. But now it's time to stay. Take your place now. Starting now. Starting now. Young Black women, you are more than your thighs and your hips. You are beautiful, strong, powerful. I want more from you. Take your place. I want every single one of you, young man, young woman. Turn to the next person standing alongside of you. Grab them and hug them and tell them that you love them. Tell them if you need anything, come to me. If you need somebody to talk to, come to me. I'll give you the shoulder. I'll give you the hug. I'll feed you. I'll clothe you if you need it. That's how you start from this moment.